What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Club 33, a DSA podcast. And today we have Sleepy Sky. He'll be here. Hopefully, he may make a guest appearance. We never know. But hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic holiday season. You guys are having a happy New Year. At the time of this recording, this is actually This is actually New Year's Day. So, oh no, sorry, New Year's Eve. My bad. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and we welcome you guys back to episode 4 of our podcast. So, Juice, how you doing? How was your little break you had over the last week or so? We missed you on stream for a couple of days, but how you doing, man?
It was a fun stream, but yeah, I was off all the way up until today. It's my first stream back and took some time off, but was definitely watching other people's stream. So I've got people in the chat right now like Disney Daddy and Crixus and Astro was in here earlier, and you were obviously here. So was trying to catch out some other streamers and content creators during the time I was off, but kind of feels weird to be back, but definitely feels good too.
I know, like you missed a lot like the last week or so, but you were watching your reviewers, so it's a different seat. But man, there was so many crazy things in the last week or so that happened within the content creator realm, and I'm really happy about it. And I'm sure that all the other content creators are just happy that all these new things have happened. A lot of collaborations, a lot of giveaways and stuff, and it really boosted the DSA community. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, like I also wanted. Obviously, I wasn't spending the whole entire time watching Twitch and stuff, but I got to catch up on some shows and some movies, especially that came out right around the holiday. Shout out to Willie Long. Thanks for coming in.
What's up, guys?
But
Ooh.
yeah, I usually when I'm watching other streamers, sometimes I just lurk in chat or I'm watching from like my Apple TV, so like I don't have a keyboard, so I don't really talk in chat a lot. But I'm definitely watching and definitely hanging out when I can and having a good time. So.
That's good. And also, yeah, I realized Disney Daddy's here, Dan's here, who else? And Willie just raided us. That's crazy. Thank you for the raid. And yeah, it's cool to see all the other content creators dropping everyone else's stream. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But Juice, I know you said you wanted to do a new segment this week. So what is that segment that you want to do?
Yes. So, yes, thanks again, Willie. Yes, we're going to do a new segment for the Club 33 podcast. We're going to call this Who Am I? So I looked at the entire roster of DSA and I picked one character. And you're going to have 20 questions to figure out who that character is. And by the way, if you are in chat watching right now, please participate as well. I'll be reading chat as we're going. You only have one answer, though. So you can't submit multiple answers. You choose when you want to get out, though. So the answers are going to start out hard, and they're going to gradually get easier. And by the probably 15th to 20th question, you should probably know who it is by then. So you can only submit one answer, and the first person to submit the earliest and get the correct character wins the game. So obviously it'd be you versus Sky, but since Sky is slumbering in his bed right now, we'll do a test run with you and the viewers who are watching in chat right now. So you won't know who the character is right off the bat, but I'm hopeful you'll know eventually. There's going to be a mix between actual movie and DSA questions. So if you don't know what it is right away, don't worry. I've also included a lot of DSA questions, but I can't basically think of 20 DSA stuff questions to kind of answer this. So it's going to be a mix between both movie and DSA stuff.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Disney Daddy says Woody. If that's going to be your guess, then you could be right or you could be wrong. But here we go. Okay. Disney DSA edition. Who am I? You ready, Dragon?
Let's go.
Okay. Question 1. Chat, play with us too, okay? You only get one answer. Question 1. This character's film currently has a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wonder Woman.
The character's in DSA.
Oh, it's in DSA. Oh, shoot. Okay. I lost
Question
already.
2. This character's film ended up doing very well at the box office, taking in a $9.5 million. At the time, it was Disney's biggest box office total to date. And when you get it, if you have a guest, Dragon, send it to me on Discord.
Okay.
Question 3. This character's movie is the first Disney animated movie to be over 1 hour and 20 minutes since Fantasia. Question 4. This character's film was the first VHS in the Walt Disney Classics line.
Oh gosh.
Question 5. At least 5 actors and actresses from this character's Disney movie reappeared as voices from the Aristocats.
Oh man.
Question 6. Remember, this is a character in DSA, by the way, guys. Question 6. Of all of the cast in this character's movie, only around half a dozen of the voice actors and actresses were actually English.
I messaged you in Discord.
All right, you're out. Question 7. The voice actor for this character is a Shakespearean trained actor. So you're out at question 6, Dragon. Just
okay.
like you, you can't change it, though. Question 8. This character can purge a helpful effect. Question 9. This character is non-human.
Oh, okay.
Question 10.
Oh, I know what it is now.
This character can buff other teammates. Question 11. This character was useful for Towers 1, 2, and especially Tower 3. Question 12. This character can benefit from Shan Yu's leadership. Question 13. This character can ignore a target's defense. Question 14. You would most likely socket an attack gem with this character. Question 15. This character only has one passive ability. Question 16. Aside from this character, there's only one other character in DSA that is from the same Disney film. Question 17. This character wears a hat.
Oh.
Question 18. This character can buff teammates with guaranteed critical. Question 19. During the initial release of DSA, this character's token was a PvP reward. And question 20. During the initial release, question 20, you would find this character fighting the Sheriff of Nottingham or King John. Dragon locked in at question number 6 before the Shakespearean trained actor. What did he guess?
Merlin. I was wrong.
He guessed Merlin. Merlin is incorrect. Woody is also incorrect, but by looking at my Twitch chat, if I scroll up, I see you with the yellow font / Van Rhodes coming in with Robin Hood. Dan J got out probably question 8 or 9 with Pocahontas. Robin Hood is the correct answer, not Woody.
I'm pretty sure it's still Woody.
Robin Hood is the correct answer. Robin Hood was one of my first 7 stars, actually. And he was a boss for Tower 3. You remember what you would do to set up? You would use the guaranteed crit, and then you'd use Iago to swipe that second wave of enemies in the A stage of Tower 3. Robin Hood was my MVP for that tower. I would have not gotten past Tower 3 if it wasn't for Robin Hood. And he was pretty far in the PvP rewards, or he was there for a long time until they
Oh
finally
yeah.
took out Robin Hood for Mulan. So it was Robin Hood. Yes, so Dragon, you're officially 0-1 with Who Am I?
That's okay. I
What
redeemed
did you think?
myself.
Did you like the game?
No, I think it's great. Like, cause like cause the questions really tricked me because I really thought like this, like talking like the 70s or 80s, and I didn't think about Robin Hood. And then you said cleanse, and I was like, oh, then it has to be Merlin. And I was like, oh, I
Ooh.
was wrong.
Yeah, yeah, Robin Hood can purge a helpful effect with his passive. So
I forgot.
I kind of
I
went
didn't know
into
that
his
actually.
character kit and found some stuff. So yeah, that's Who Am I? And then
Mhm.
we'll probably do it again next time with us when Sky's here and whatnot. And
Yeah,
hopefully you'll
it'll be
be a little
fun.
bit more conservative when you lock in. And think it's pretty fun. But yeah, I know they start off pretty tough, but they're the movie gross kind of dated it too. Yeah, interesting. Slash. Yeah, good point. Um, it's hard trying to not give it away in the first couple questions, but by the end, it should be very obvious of who it is. So I feel like I did okay with that. But yeah, that is Who Am I? And we'll play it next time for sure. I'm glad you liked it.
That was good. That was definitely good. It was good to get the you guys into it too, because like chat, I was like watching chat, and like 75% of it was Woody, 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 and, which is nice. But no, it's good getting you guys into participation because usually just us rambling really, and you guys just kind of reacting to it. So it's kind of cool to get you guys into it, and I think it's good that we keep on thinking of ideas like this to get you guys more into the podcast. I think it's more. I think it's a good community thing to do. So no Sky's efficiency tip of the week. So we'll have to go to the our second topic, or which is going to be possibly two or more weeks of no new content. Who are we catching up on in farming and gearing up? So Juice, who are you? Who are you trying to catch up with this no content situation right now?
Yeah, so I think, and I haven't seen him today, but myself, and Janu were basically going hard for Stitch during this
Ooh, that's
pass of
good.
Stitch's Tower.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I got Stitch to 7-star. I
Nice.
actually got him a Gear Tier 7 right away, and then I'm one piece away from Gear Tier 8. So I saved up all my
Ooh.
materials for the raid. So I need one more piece, and it's gonna take a little bit.
Hmm.
I did some farming on stream today. I spent over 1,000 energy. I know you were probably here, Dragon, but I'll say it again. I spent over 1,000 energy for those dark water samples. I only got
Hmm.
7 tokens. So the drop rates are still very abysmal.
Oh yeah.
One of my viewers, JW Waller sent me, or JD Waller sent me a little resource on which pieces are better to buy with gems. So I may look at that more carefully because I felt like I wasted some gems on energy refreshers when I could have just probably waited till they come up in the exchanges. So yeah, Stitch is so far really good. I've used him in the raid for heroic already.
Hmm.
For the glut fight, he's amazing. I've almost doubled and tripled my normal damage just by having him in it. And once we get him to Gear Tier 8, he's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, he's been my main focus during the holiday break.
Hmm.
Just focusing on him, and then once we get to Gear Tier 8, then I'm going to have to decide who's going to be next. I think it's going to be probably Wasabi to 7-star, so I can get Baymax to 7-star by the next time he comes around. But I still have some thoughts that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, just Stitch.
I mean, Stitch, he's a powerhouse in raids, so you're definitely gonna get a big, you're gonna get compensated for that in raids for sure. You're gonna be probably one of the more top damage dealers for your club for sure, which is good. Um, I've been focusing on Cogsworth for Grand Camp. Well, I finished off Bubbles and Gantu like within the last like week. I finished them both off, and now I'm doing uh Cogsworth, and he's almost, I need like 50 or no 47 more character tokens to get him to 7 stars, and I work on pots. So then I have those two guys ready for the beast event, which is good. I almost done with Fred needs like 12 more character tokens, and Honey Lemon needs like 75 more character tokens, and I'm done with her. And Wasabi's trailing. I know I really lagged with the whole Big Hero 6, but at least I'm getting them there. And I mean, like I'm really happy that they kind of slowed down like the last like couple weeks and into like the first week of January, because I mean, I was like, I made a video earlier this morning that I'm editing, but it's just looking pretty much at 2020 review for DSA, and we got 37 characters, 4 legendaries, 33 regular characters, and we're up to 103 characters with 101 playable characters. I think it's freaking crazy that DSA has given us that many characters. I don't know if that's a lot compared to Swaga, because Swaga right now has 198 playable characters and 51 ships, so like 249 units on like playable after 5 years. So that's kind of like just to reference it. But I think, we've gotten so much content that, like, for more like semi free to play and free to play players, it's a lot to catch up with. So like these 2 weeks where it's kind of slow, I'm grateful. I think Glue deserves, a little break as well, because the game itself is just freaking beautiful. So it put a lot of hard work and whatnot. So I'm really grateful for that. I see that Crixus down there says that Australia posted their calendar and it's Mythicals next week. Mythicals, maybe mythical event. I don't know exactly what you mean there, Crixus, but I haven't checked that out yet.
Yeah, the thing I was going to add is like, since there's been so many events around like the end of November and January with
Mm-hmm.
like Beauty and the Beast and Sensational Six and the whole Mickey stuff, like before, I remember when I looked at Grand Campaign and I was like, okay, Go-Go's the only character I need to farm here. And then after Go-Go, it was Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, fast forward weeks, it's like Pluto's there, Minnie's there. Um, there's still like Mrs. Potts is there,
Yes.
Cogsworth is there, so there's like
Goofy.
4 to 5 characters there that I need to farm. Like before, I was just focusing on one, and now it's like crap. You gotta actually make some decisions on who you're gonna farm.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm kind of farming Cogsworth through Grand Campaign just
Mm-hmm.
because Beast is Beast. So eventually, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, I even made I started a spreadsheet last week, just like detailing the actual drop rates that I get with each character. So I farm 3 elite battle characters at a time and 1 grand campaign character at a time, and the spreadsheet, it should be saved in my Discord. And I know people are having trouble seeing some stuff in my Discord, so let me know if you guys see it, or if you can't see it, let me know, because that spreadsheet just literally tells everything, just shows what my drop rates are. And right now, like, for elite battles, it's around 30 to 40% from what I have in about a week. And with grand campaign, after about 400 something attempts, it's at about 31% exact. I had like one day where it was pretty low, and that brought it down from 34 to like 31% for grand campaign. So I'd at least we kind of, it's a good gauge to tell, even though it's like, my own personal experience, to tell exactly what the drop rates are. And I think someone told me it was 30%. I think that's what Glue said it as, and at least it's showing true, which is good, because we're not getting, we're not getting shorted or anything like that, which is nice.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky too because like now it's like, well, I'd love to be able to spend energy on like Wasabi. Like I want to get him to 7-star,
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't have to worry about like I don't want to buy him through the raid exchange. Like no, and if I'm using all my energy for gear because gear tier 8 is like, it's what you need to have now.
Yeah.
It's hard like prioritizing like spending stuff for either gear or like
Mm-hmm.
getting character tokens and things like that. So um I feel like we're at the point now where like making smart decisions is so critical because
Yeah.
obviously what characters are you going for?
Mm-hmm.
When do you stop farming these characters? When are you going to choose to get farm stuff for gear and whatnot? So um, definitely the guides and the resources out there are definitely helpful now because if you're making wrong decisions, you can put yourself back really far now based on where we're at like months ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you went back, you can just go back to the November 1st, not even like just basically 60 days ago, and you had 2 fewer legendaries, and you had no mythical lead, and just you had no raids. So DSA has definitely come a long way since then. Um, but looking forward into 2021, what are your thoughts and predictions for what can come to DSA in 2021? I know a lot of people are talking about this right now, so I guess we should give our little 2 cents on this one.
Ah, man, I mean, you would think about how many more characters and whatnot would be coming out just based on this year. It seems a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if Glue kept pumping out more events and more characters and more content. So as far as like characters go, I can't even put a number on it. Like based on what I'd said, it'd probably be a lot lower than or probably be a lot higher than I would say.
Mhm.
But I guess if I would probably expect by the end of 21 to probably see at least gear tier 10 or 11,
Yeah.
2 gear tiers, something like that. I would expect to see that go up by the end of 2021. I would probably at least see one more raid. I don't think we would see two more. If it's going to be the Hercules raid or the Maleficent raid, I expect to see that by 2021. I don't think we'd see two,
Mhm.
based on how long it took them to do the uh, the Forbidden Depths. That's what it's called, right? For
Yeah,
Ursula.
Forbidden Depths.
Just the amount of detail in the animations. They can't use the same assets that they used for the Little Mermaid to build another one, so they're probably going to have to build it from the ground up. And mechanics as well. So I probably expect to see one more raid encounter, not two. And then we talked about the gear, we talked about the characters. Any new game modes? I'd probably expect to see maybe something based on the feedback that are people that are giving from surveys, whether it's a new PvP mode or they fix around Club Conquest or they add something else to that. So one raid, one game mode, a lot of new characters. I can't put a number on it, and at least gear going up probably 2 or 3 tiers by the end of the year, I would say.
Oh yeah, I mean pretty much everything there is what I'm thinking. For sure, Gear Tier 9, Gear Tier 10 wouldn't be out of reach. I think Gear Tier 11 may be a push. But in the 9 months that DSA has been around, we've gotten 37 characters. So if you do the math on that, I mean, I don't want to embarrass myself, but I know for sure that's what, at least 10 characters a quarter, something like that, roughly.
Yeah.
So you can guesstimate that probably by year's end of 2021, we're definitely going to reach a around 150 characters in the game. And hopefully Maleficent and who else? Maleficent and Zeus are playable characters. I was thinking about the two like non-playable characters. That's why, and hopefully they become playable as well. I definitely could see a raid with a gear tier if they do that, because that's what they did with Gear Tier 8. They brought the raid and the gear tiers. So maybe Gear 9 they're gonna bring a raid and Gear Tier 9, or they might do like 8.5 and then release the raid, something like that. So we'll see how that works. I also think they're going to make an advanced system of stones, because stones right now, a good amount of people have gotten their stones and they're getting their stones, or they're grinding and getting it. But I think Glue sees the other games for sure and knows that they can definitely make it tougher and make more money by making a higher end modification system. I hope they don't go Swaga realm. That's way too complex, and I think it's I'm not a big fan of it. But DSA and Glue probably heading in that direction, where stones are going to become a little bit more complex, or they may even add a separate modifier itself. And talking about also game modes, I hope they do change Club Conquest a little bit, because whoa.
What's up, guys?
Someone just woke up. Someone just woke up.
I just woke up, guys. What's up? I was up till 6 last night.
You mean 6 this morning?
It's all the same.
on.
It's all the same. We live?
We are live.
Heck yeah, guys. Heck yeah. What's up, guys?
And I was talking about how they could probably bring in some type of more complex modifier system for like stones. So character modifications, definitely something there is going to change. Something's going to come to the game and make it more complex to make Glue more money, of course. And I'm hoping that Club Conquest does get rewards adjusted, because when we saw the Forbidden Depths rewards, there we go, sorry, when we saw the Forbidden Depths rewards compared to Club Conquest rewards, like before, when I got my Club Conquest rewards, got a couple tier 8 pieces, I thought I was banking in those pieces for Gear Tier 8, and then I realized I was like, I don't even have anything for one piece for any character. So
I agree with a lot of that. I think 2 gear tiers. I think 1 gear tier will be added, the second one will be added with a raid, like you said. I could see them adding like some type of modifier stones. They could even add a second stone slot where you can't equip the same type of stone. I could see that.
Yeah.
or like some way if you get your character to gear 9, gear 10, something like that,
Mhm.
you unlock a second stone slot. I could see that.
Yeah,
Because that
it's
would
a
also be
possibility.
a huge pay cap too. So like it
Mhm.
actually would increase the grind a lot.
And you know what I was thinking too is like, what if they just
I'm gonna jump
added
on my
some like,
computer.
what if they added some like minor upgrades to the just to the stones?
All
Like,
right,
could you
there we go.
imagine if they changed that speed stone and they increased it like by 5%? Like, you saw how drastic the impact was when Hero's leadership at Gear Tier 8 was increased by 5%. Like, imagine if they
Mhm.
upgrade those gems. Like, those gems can have
Right.
such an impactful difference when you're talking about speed and possibly damage as well, because the meta has shifted more into a damage focused PvP rather than more
Yeah.
control. So, like,
Mhm.
you know, if you can increase your level 3 speed stone to a level 4 that just gives it 5% more speed, or even 10, which would probably be too much, people are going to spend money to do that because it is such a clear advantage over your opponent in PvP and
Oh
even
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Tournament and Club Conquest. So yeah, unless they add any new stuff like that, like what Dragon was talking about, they could just do little bit increases on those stones or add a whole new level to each stone,
Mhm.
and people are going to do what they can to get them.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
really, what I'd like to see the most is the numbers adjusted on stones, because obviously certain numbers just don't make sense mathematically. They're going to be worse. Like things like crit chance, crit damage, really are really bad stones.
Yeah.
Recovery, there's a lot of really bad stones, and it's because they chose to have such a uniform percentage
Hmm.
on it. So I mean, that's something that I'd like to see, but I don't imagine they'll do.
Yeah, because like with crit damage, I think because when you put offense stone on certain characters, it's the exact same thing as putting crit damage when you do the math. So I think if you want to increase like crit damage, for instance, to kind of separate them, you're gonna have to
Hmm.
increase it. You know, maybe chip or the tier 1 being 10%, tier 2 being 20%, and tier 3 being like 30%, something like that, to make it a substantial
Yeah,
difference to put that crit damage on that character. And you never know. Well, I keep on going back to Swago as a comparison, but there is a difference there. Like where I think Swago was at, where DSA is right now, there the speed was pretty much the same. Like 100, the max is like 150, 140, somewhere around there. With now you're seeing Gear Tier 8 hero with the speed stone, and the leadership goes with 180 or something like that. And I think Go goes to like 190. Well, now 5 years later in Swaga, you're seeing speeds upwards of 300 plus. So DSA will eventually probably head over there, and the speed is going to be insane. So
yeah,
it's going to be a completely different game in the future. Not in 2021. We're looking more like 2023, 24. That's when DSA is going to enter into that realm. But I'm happy where DSA is at right now. But
hmm
definitely looking for what the game is going to bring us in 2021. You know, and I like how you
yeah,
pointed out, Juice, that we're going to more of like a damage from Super Silence meta, which is kind of a. I remember going into at the beginning of the game. You know, Elsa was queen, and she like did a lot of stuff when I started, and then of course when Baymax and them came in, we had Super Silence with bubbles and stuff. And I don't know. I kind of like going back into like that damage because I do have a lot of characters with damage. I still have Big Bad Wolf. He's gotten a little weaker though because he hasn't been leveled up yet in a while, but he's still a pretty big damage dealer. But hopefully Elsa, I know like I've been trying to tier her up, but I know she's not the greatest when it comes to tier 8 in terms of like actual overall benefit. But I still love my Elsa.
no, yeah, she's still great. She's still
Mhm.
great. She's just no longer the undisputed premier damage dealer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
She's still fantastic though.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is really important to look at with characters is certain characters are going to scale very well with new characters. If you're looking at characters like Baymax, who have an auto taunt beast who steals turn meter, um, those characters are going to scale really well for a very long time because
Hmm.
they aren't reliant on their own stats as much as some other characters, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think that's something that you can look at with your characters. Certain
Hmm.
ones are just going to scale a lot better than others.
Like
Sure.
I with Hero, he scales out with speed, which is nice.
Hmm.
Elsa, well, across the board, everyone gets, I believe, a lot of potency, evasion, tenacity, and stuff like that. But
Definitely.
for her, actually, like when you look at her stats, it's a lot of like offense and defense. That's basically it. But she does have those two main raid lock pieces that increase specific, what is it, stats for her evasion stuff. But nothing like compared to whenever someone gets like a speed boost. I know like Genie gets a big boost. I believe he's one of them who gets a big boost in terms of speed. But
speed boost and the crit damage chance piece is insane. Because if you compare those to stones, it's like a joke. Because it's a 10% chance and a 30% damage, which is like 2 crit damage stones and almost 2 crit chance stones.
Yeah, which is nice. And
so like the scaling on those are like insane.
Sky, I think we should backtrack a little bit since we missed your part earlier. Who are you currently farming during like this dead time for content?
So I've had some time to catch up on my farming. So the two characters I'm focused on the most are Stitch and Go-Go. Stitch he's very, very close to gear 8 for me. And then Go-Go is just about gear 7. Because it's a slow grind to get characters to gear 7 for me right now. Because I'm spending essentially no resources on anything that isn't character shards or gear 7 gear. So it's a very slow grind to get a character 7 to gear 7 for me because I'm not spending a single energy on droplets anymore, or club currency on droplets. So it's a little bit of a slow grind, but she's getting close.
That's like,
that's what we were talking about before, for sure. This idea of like, if you have so much energy to spend, do you prioritize it on gear? Do you prioritize it on character shards? And it's kind of.
I think if you have the ability, if you've progressed enough in the game, and it's so different for everyone because everyone has different stockpiles and different characters up. But if you need to be looking for that moment when you can just stop farming droplets for good. Because there is a moment for everyone, and it's going to be at a different time. Like I have the luxury of I have 500 health droplets.
Onward event.
Like because I still have a good stockpile from Onward, so I can obviously stop farming droplets sooner than other people. Because I don't gear that many characters and I have a stockpile. But there is going to be that moment for everyone, so I think it's important for people to look for that moment.
The only stockpile I have are brooms. That's the only stockpile I have.
It's amazing though. Like kind of like how Sky was saying. Like I was, when you're not spending on any of those gear, like when you're not gearing up anybody and you're just doing your sorcerer challenges every day. And you do this for a couple weeks and you're just constantly stockpiling on gear. Like it's just amazing how fast you can go through it. Like when I got my Stitch to tier 7 and almost gear tier 8, like it's amazing how like I cleaned out house with all my resources just on one character. And obviously I mentioned before I'm only one piece away from gear tier 8, but it's like
nice. I'm too.
It's like, man, like I can't believe how felt like I have no more of the wispy droplets. I have nothing. It's just, now it's mostly pretty much almost completely free to play. Aside from the Stitch bundle, but it's just crazy how fast you can go through that stuff very quickly if you're only leveling up one character or gearing up one character.
I've gotten so many brassy droplets lately, and it's just pissing me off. It's like the one thing I don't want, but I keep on getting it. What were you trying to say, Sky?
Something I did do is I made it's gonna turn into a spreadsheet soon, but it's just a priority list for gear 8 and gear 6 and 7. I put gear 6 and 7 together because they're gonna use the same resources for the most part. So I just made a list so I could really know what I want to farm and what is gonna benefit me the most. So like for gear 8, I have Stitch, then Go-Go, then Baymax, then Sheriff, then Dash, then Beast. And then for 7-6, I have Go-Go to 7, Sheriff to 6-7, Dash to 6-7. The rest of my Beauty and the Beast to 6 that isn't there to prep for Beast. And then Beast, and then Belle. Those are kind of like the characters I've outlined that are going to help me progress and are going to help my collection of my teams. And I want to stay true to that, and I don't want to get sidetracked by other characters. So whenever I see this character that I want to get up, I want to be able to look at this and kind of say, no, I can't use resources because of blank. I have to use it on Go-Go. I have to use it on Sheriff. I also want to get Sven up. I don't have Sven on the list, but
Yeah. I know Juice knows how powerful Sven is in raids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna get mine to 6 and leave them there, you know.
I've also been thinking about this kind of over the holiday too. Not to say I'm going to do it, but have you guys thought about like saving everything for like a hard reset team? And by like a hard reset team, I mean like when I had full downtown villains at the beginning of the game and I couldn't do anything, so I just went a hard reset for Frozen and they were my team for a very long time. Like I was like, what if you start saving everything now, like all your gear, and then as soon as that Hercules team comes out, which will be good, like they're gonna release a meta breaking team, like that next big team, you have everything ready to go or something like that in case if you don't like where your teams are at right now.
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough
Yeah,
one.
there's I have a game philosophy that kind of goes against this, and it's just the fact that of course this rule can be broken. It was somewhat broken with Big Hero 6, but a majority of time in a game like this, when there's a new release, even if it's going to warp the meta completely, it's going to end up being a hybrid of some kind for the best team. Because for the the best team to completely include new characters, that means the fifth best character has to perform better in this team than the best character out of your entire roster.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of happened with Big Hero 6, arguably. I think that I think you could argue that Big Hero 6 subbing Wasabi was probably the best squad when it came out. But like because of that, like kind of just basic game philosophy that everyone can grasp, that's like, yeah, you're right. It's probably I have 80 characters unlocked. The odds of the fifth best character being better than all 80 is pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
So like I do think it's good to hoard, but you do have to spend resources to an extent,
Yeah.
or else you're gonna fall behind.
I think it's a good point though too, because like I wasn't thinking about it, but like obviously when the game first came out, there were so many low level tier characters like Baloo and whatnot that weren't being used. So like we pretty much knew who were the good characters and who weren't the good characters. The problem is there's just so many characters now, and there's so many plug and play characters. Like,
So
yeah,
many
if you were to
gears.
do something like that for the Hercules team, who says you wouldn't sub in Beast or you wouldn't sub in Mickey or you wouldn't sub in Baymax? Like
Yeah.
the game has definitely turned into just hybrid teams all over the place, and there's no evidence to show that's not stopping.
Yeah, and it's just I think if the meta doesn't become a or doesn't become a hybrid after release, it's kind of a toxic release in a way, because that means it's the power creep is so real for the best. Like Big Hero 6, I think. Call me crazy. I think Big Hero 6 was a disaster because I think it was way too strong. I still think that. Um, whatever. Glue's doing their best. I'm not trying to be like overcritical or anything, but like I think we all can agree that like Big Hero 6 was so ridiculously meta defining. Same thing with Frozen, so ridiculously meta defining. And I much prefer things like Beauty and the Beast that kind of sprinkled into the meta. Sensational 6 sprinkling into the meta. I much prefer the type of releases they've been doing lately.
Yeah, and I think what's unique about DSA is that we have this way where we can do hybrid teams. Because in other games, it's like, for instance, it would be like, okay, the only team that works right now, the meta, is Frozen, and you can't use anyone else besides Frozen. You can find a counter, but that's it. There's no such thing as taking Beasts and putting them with Elsa and then putting them with Baymax. That doesn't exist in some of the other games. So I think that's kind of unique in DSA where, yeah, you can farm those teams, but at least your old farms aren't going to be just thrown towards the side. There'll still be some use for them, which is nice.
Yeah, the synergy's only going to get you so far.
Exactly. Synergies in other games are huge, but in DSA, I would say they existed pretty well with Frozen, but after
Big Hero 6 too.
Big Hero 6 too, but after that, you just kind of started mixing and doing hybrids, and that's kind of a
Then
thing.
you look at Beauty and the Beast, you're like, what?
It's like, yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
Do
like,
these characters go together?
They're supposed to, but I mean, really, what people just use Beast and Belle and try to fit them in somewhere else, basically. You guys have anything else to add?
No, I think it's honestly a positive for a lot of the non-whale community right now, is being able to catch up, being able to farm gear, farm all these legendaries they just released, and not worry about saving up some gear for a surprise release on Wednesday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really. I think it's just been a really positive thing for burnout, for spending burnout, for like whales. Yeah, I think I'm glad they kind of were forced to do this by giving everyone a nice holiday that works there. And I
Yes.
hope they do more things like this in the future.
Yeah, I think like every quarter they should just take like a week off just to like give everyone like a tiny break.
Yeah, for sure.
Like just do like one big release and take a break. But going back to kind of what we were talking earlier, Juice. So kind of reflecting on what happened, the last week or so, obviously with the big giveaways that have been happening, the community's like really kind of stood out. And I'll say a personal thing. The other day I posted my 2 month video from Swaga, and I didn't get the greatest feedback. I kind of got a lot of negativity from the Swagger community for posting that in one of the Reddits, and I was like blown away. I was like, whoa, this game's like 5 years old, and it made me really appreciate the DSA community so much more, because you guys are. I said in one of my videos, it's a unique, always positive community, and you never see that. I mean, the way the world works, we never see that type of positivity, and Swaga made reminded me of that. And I'm sure if you guys ever played Call of Duty or anything like that, those lobbies are toxic. So and the communities are toxic. But with DSA, we I think I kind of probably took it for granted at one point, but I'm just so happy what I'm able to do, like with Astral too. That was a big one the other day, being like the leader of the Hispanic community, or the Spanish speaking community. That was huge what a lot of the other clubs are able to do. So I know, what are you guys' thoughts that really make DSA stand out as a community out there amongst many communities out there?
Yeah, I mean, Dragon kind of hit on it, but it's like, I mean, as far as like in the perspective of a streamer, like, like I don't have to ever like ban people in my chat or like time out people in my chat. Like, you think you would have people that would come in just to be like swarmy or just to talk shit or whatever they're trying to do. Like, there's people like that everywhere, but it's really non-existent for the DSA community as far as I've seen. And it's crazy to think about, because usually it happens so much. And when you're sitting behind a computer or a phone, you can type whatever you want to type without, having to show your face. That's just kind of the way how culture and societies have evolved a little bit. But it's great. I mean, I've tried to watch streams during kind of the vacation, and seeing all those giveaway streams and seeing all those kind of hype and celebratory streams are very, very cool. And you don't go in there and seeing people talking shit or trying to correct you or try to tell you how to play the game. And that's something I really appreciate too, because obviously, like, reducing spending and things like that, you can have people that come into your channel or your community who have full gear tier 8 rosters and that have a ton of characters, and they have more than you do, but they still don't like hold that as the standard, or they don't tell you how to play or anything like that. So as far as that's how in my stream, that's how I've seen it, which is really, really cool. It's something, it's just unique. I don't know how it's still kind of been this way for a while. I'm hoping that it stays like this forever. But I think a lot of people who do play this game are maybe on the older side, on the mature side, and it's just cool to see. So it makes me want to tune into other content creators more, because if you're not able to see those other people streaming and stuff, you should definitely check them out. Some of these streams this week were pretty awesome. And it's not just about the giveaways. It's not just about, hey, come in here, you have a chance to win some gems. I'm hoping that if you go into Astral's stream, yeah, there could be some giveaways, but you could also see him playing guitar and singing. There's more that streamers do aside from just trying to hold contests and things like that. But there's definitely more personality and stuff that comes out. But it's definitely really, really cool. I mean, especially for someone who I definitely wasn't the first DSA streamer, but I was maybe considered one of the first, maybe first top 5 or something like that. But like, seeing the amount of people that are streaming now, it's like, whoa, it's really, really cool to see, especially because some of these people that are streaming now are like former viewers or former people that want to get into content creating. So it kind of comes full circle a little bit. So it makes it I feel more gratitude too when I see people that used to watch me now having their own channels and being successful too. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, one thing I want to touch on real quick is I was a mod for Astral's I'm a mod for Astral now, and I was a mod for his big stream. Dragon, I know you were a mod for Default Dan last night.
Mm-hmm.
I had like no problems. None of the mods for Astral did. I don't think any of the problems for Default Dan did probably either.
No.
No one was being mean. It was actually like all I had to do was like help set up the or help organize the giveaways a tiny bit. That's all I did. You know what I mean? And none of the mods had any problems with anyone being nasty. You know, and that's just so cool when I know Default Dan. I don't know where he capped out. I saw him at as high as 80. Astral, I saw him as a high 170.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like these are big streams with a lot of people that aren't normally in the on the streams probably because the giveaways, and you're still seeing people be just as cool as these tiny streams. You know, when my stream when I have 5, 6, 7 viewers, whatever, people are cool and people are cool in these giant streams. So I was thinking it's really cool to see. I've been in a few different communities for sure, and I'm gonna be this is always me being terrible. Every community that isn't like really toxic always like to say, "Oh, we're the best community," because I've had this a few times before. But that doesn't take away from just how great DSA is. There's a lot of really great people, really got a lot of great support, and I think we're seeing a lot of people just step up to go to the next level. I know Fabi, he's been having some really cool streams with some really high quality infographics with showing some like innovative teams.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Astral, Default Dan, Krigsis, doing these cool giveaway streams. Cozy had the supported by Glue stream. You know, like we're seeing people really take a step up with DSA and how serious they're taking it as far as streaming, and that's something that's cool. And I'm honestly excited for the future of this game because I think it's a pretty cool game, you know.
Yeah.
And for a while there, it really just wasn't getting the coverage on any media platform that I thought it should be.
I think one thing that we need to talk to Twitch about is to fix the categories. I think now that we've broken through, the streams on everyone are getting bigger, which is nice. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. The streams are getting bigger. They're getting, I don't want to say crazy, but they're getting more like, there's more fun, and the community just really getting into it. And it's cool to see that people are branching out to different streamers, because every streamer is gonna have something different. It's like if you only buy, let's say, I don't know, a Sony TV, but you don't see that maybe Samsung has something different, or LG, or Panasonic. That's an example. If you only go to the one brand, you're never going to see the other brands and what they may be able to offer, and maybe you like the other one, another one a little bit better, or maybe like a part of them. So in that sense, it's just amazing, because every streamer, yes, they're a streamer, but they are a brand at the same time. So everyone has a different brand, and it's cool to see each one of those brands being able to really differentiate themselves, and really kind of just show what they have to offer, and people just reacting so positively to it as well.
I think it's interesting that I was going to add too, and I don't know if it segues into this, but like I think most of the DSA community like knows where their place is when it comes to the game. Like you could have a lot of you could have a lot of hate, or you could be really not jealous, but you could hate the whales in this game for having the amount of characters that they do, and the amount of gear that they have. But I think a lot of people just accepted they're going to choose how much they're going to spend, if that's nothing at all, or if it's just a little bit. Like, even though you may be in a stream with the people that have a huge roster, or they're all geared up, like, I think people are still cool to one another. Like, they just kind of learned, and they accepted, like, okay, that's how they want to play the game. That's their hobby. That's something they can afford, compared to people that are just free to play. So I don't know if this is different from other communities, but I don't know what the relationship between non-whales and whales are, where, people may feel jealous, or they may feel like, well, this character has all this stuff. Like, they're just going to be naturally mad at them, or they're going to have, there's going to be this like natural negativity towards whales. But I don't think it exists in DSA, because there's a ton of people in the top 10 guilds that come into my stream, whether it's Frontierland, whether it's Disney Titans or whatnot, and they're all really nice people, despite having really, really good rosters and stuff like that. There's no like, I'm not being looked down upon because I don't have what they have.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that's a really good point.
It's kind of cool because people really like to watch those streams too, because they kind of can see what the game will look like for them once they get there. It's kind of like a foretelling of what can happen and stuff. And you know, people love watching a Disney Daddy stream and stuff like that because he has those big rosters. And you know, I never see anyone say like, you know, almost like screw you because you know you spend X amount of money in this game and this and that. And that's a good point Juicy talked about, because I don't see that negativity. You know, I don't see that negativity either way, for free to play to, you know, whales or whales to free to play, either way, which is good because I mean, I don't know, in Swaga, you know, I've been in the community, but honestly, I'm like, it's not like DSA. It's not like DSA where it just doesn't feel as friendly and warm. I don't know if there's any Swaga players in here, but yeah, I don't have the connection. Like, people still help me and stuff like that for sure, but it's just, I feel like it's harder to find than in DSA, which I like about DSA is that the help's always there and it's easy to find. Or maybe I'm looking in the wrong places too. That could be another thing.
Yeah, and one thing that's cool is like, even if you look at you brought up Disney Daddy,
Mm-hmm.
and Disney Daddy, he has what, the second highest summoner score or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy roster. But dude, when I watch Disney Daddy, I mostly don't even watch him for his collection. I watch him because he's funny. And like what he does with this collection, he's like, I remember watching him. He's like, all right, we got to make a Jack team where there's Jack Skellington, Monterey Jack, Jack, and Captain Jack Sparrow. And he's like, yeah, I want to gear 8 all these characters, just because, like, he's a whale, but he's just freaking messing around and having fun. Like,
Yeah.
Disney Ice streams are awesome, and he doesn't just say like, oh yeah, I'm a whale, look at my stuff. Like, that's not his vibe at all. He's just a cool dude hanging out with people. So that's the thing I appreciate too, is even these whales, it's not this brag stream. It's not this is what you need to do stream. It's like, hey, let's have fun, just like my stream, just like your guys' streams. Also, I just want to make fun of myself a little real quick. It's so freaking funny that I was still asleep. It's actually hilarious.
I knew it was gonna
It's
happen.
so funny. It's so funny. No, I'm not apologizing. I'm making fun of myself because it's hilarious.
We didn't have many topics for tonight, especially
Yeah.
just because it's been a kind of a dead
So
week,
funny.
and we played our little Who Am I stuff as well. But yeah, if there's anything else, Dragon, let me know now. But if not, then I'm gonna step out and let you guys finish the end of it, and then we'll wrap up when you guys are done.
I finally have a name for my efficiency tip thing.
Ooh.
It's just high on efficiency with Sky High. Or sorry, high efficiency.
Oh, I
High
love it.
efficiency with Sky High.
Yeah,
There we
high
go.
efficiency with Sky High. Boom. I think it's simple. It's like clever.
Good. I
Boom.
like it.
I've been really mulling over those names. I love names.
Well, I think we can guarantee that when we come back next time, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm gonna do Who Am I
Yes.
again. I know Sky, you weren't here for that, but definitely check out the YouTube
the
once
VOD, yeah.
Dragon uploads that, and then we'll go from there. But thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live on Twitch right now,
Yes.
appreciate your feedback. Thanks for playing Who Am I with us as well. Definitely check out Dragon's video. Definitely check out this when Dragon uploads it to his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Check out Sky High on Twitch, Sky High fan _. Check out Dragon Slayer Games as well. And guys, have a wonderful new year. On my behalf, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. I want to wish you guys a very safe and happy new year. You know, it's been a crazy but fun year at DSA. And I want to say DSA made this year so much better in so many ways. So thank you guys. Thanks for support. And Sky, what do you have to say?
Dude, I agree with that. This has been a very hard year for me. You know, I lost my job and stuff. And DSA has really been one of the few things keeping me going. So I just appreciate you guys, anyone I talk to on Twitch, whether it's mine or theirs or someone else's, dude. Like, this community really has got me through so much this year. Very appreciated.
I agree.
Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in 2021, and it's gonna be episode 5. So thank you guys for sticking around, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys.